one of my favorite people ever. And Chips! Like, we're blessed to have Chips on camera here with us today. But of course, Surena, of course. Mango with Chips!
With Chips, yeah.
She does so much. You wear so many hats. Not this weekend, thankfully. Well, technically this weekend, yes.
This weekend's been a rush.
But
it's fun.
In general, too, Rivals.
Rivals of Waterdeep, the podcast, The Dungeonettes, and we do a stream every other Tuesday. And also newly cast on the podcast, Autonomic.
Yeah, so with Cat Cool.
Cat Cool. What I love about it is a game set in their own like homebrewed world with a homebrewed system itself. Like Cat and Pranks designed the system, and it's a podcast geared towards younger listeners, and I think that that's an important thing.
Which I mean it's weird to state, but like with all you do, your characters fit into a certain niche.
Mm-hmm.
And while there's that you're a grown adult and all that, but there's still the childish aspects that come to a lot of your characters.
So I love playing characters that are, plucky, excited about life, and living that new energy, very youthful vibe. And I think that happened because when I was in high school and all of that, I did a lot of theater, and I was always cast as it's gonna sound silly, but the leading character. But the leading character for women in a lot of older plays, they're incredibly boring. And they are for the male character. Oh, yeah. Right, just the love interest, kind of flat. So when playing D&D and role-playing games, and knowing that I can play any character I want, I love adorable weirdos. That's my favorite.
We love your adorable weirdos. Ashburn is just the best. While I'm woefully behind on Dungeon Red Zipper from heard, of course, you played Zipper twice now this weekend.
Yep. When I panic, I go to what I love.
So, even if you haven't listened to Dungeon Rats or seen their Twitch streams, if you just watched, what was it? Which main stage show?
The Friday show, I played a version of Zipper. I was a halfling gnome fighter. Halfling gnome fighter. No, halfling and gnome, those are two different races. I was a halfling fighter. I was small like a gnome. Sorry, thanks. I used the voice I used for Zipper and gave her less of Zipper's noir, darker elements, and just made her just a young adventurer trying her best, going through hell.
Literally.
Yeah. I was just thinking about it. One thing why I like playing adorable weirdos is a lot of people who play D&D want to play the most epic or badass or sneaky character, but if everyone's a badass, the one that is admittedly the least amount of badass is so compelling to watch. That dynamic is I like that dichotomy between characters.
Yeah. Let's talk about season 4, Rivals.
Yeah.
Goodness.
DM,
was that your first time DM ever?
So no, I've DM'd twice before. I started a Dungeon and Dragon campaign at my work. So I was DMing for people who've never played Dungeons and Dragons before. Adults of, various walks of life, ages, and it was really fun. But this coming here and DMing live in front of a camera, I was a little nervous, I'm not going to lie. But knowing that who I had at the table with me made me feel really good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can we get
you want
a spoil? Yes. Any spoilers, sneak peeks, hints at any plans you have for season 4?
Okay. Let me think. For plans, of the Descent did come out, so we're gonna probably have them, explore what just happened in the stream session. That session is session 0 of season 4.
So we're getting 11 episodes technically for
Technically, yes.
Oh, snap.
Yeah.
Even more Rivals. Put it in my veins. But yeah, so we're gonna see the fallout from that.
Yeah, I can see so. Also, the best thing about switching DMs is how everyone plays the same NPCs but differently.
Oh goodness, that is, I said it yesterday.
Yeah.
My favorite. I'm excited to hear duo voice.
I'm practicing in the shower.
And then if anybody who has seen the D&D live stream by whenever you see this, if you know who a certain NPC was before they properly introduced themselves, say something about it, because as soon as she did the voice, I knew. I was like, it's them. And I'm like, of course they're going to be in hell.
Yeah.
So I'm excited to see Serena's DM style compared to, especially after seeing where Sharif is more cerebral, puzzled, making you think. And then Carlos, of course, as I said to him, he's going to make you cry. And I mean, knowing Surena, it's maybe she's going to make you laugh, but at the same time, who knows?
Yeah, I'm a wild card, y'all.
Yeah.
I love making people make difficult social choices. So that's what I'll say.
I'm excited. And it comes back June
9th.
Oh, goodness, June 9th.
It's coming up. It's soon.
It's close.
2 weeks, I think.
Soon.
3 weeks.
June 9th, Rivals of Waterdeep back in our lives, where we get to see just this cast come, make us laugh, and just have such fun on the stream with Surena at the helm, laying the groundwork for maybe Tanya, maybe Brandon, maybe Cicero to take over the reins and bring their own style. And I'm so excited. I'm gonna be a mess on the night.
I might be too. So.
I mean, but as I said, you got awesome people. You got the veterans and newbies at the table supporting you. Yep. You got, of course, me in the background on Twitter and all that. You got people who no, she's a badass and it's just gonna be fun. The only thing that I kind of hate is that it's gonna be somewhat less Ashbourne, I assume.
Well, she's, less Ashbourne, but she'll still be there. She'll just be a fox, so that's exciting.
Yeah, so less Ashbourne, but still some Ashbourne. But
still some Ashbourne, the essence of Ashbourne.
Yeah. And then maybe Erica's character, hopefully, if things can work out.
Well, we have, we know what we're doing with that.
So, that'll be exciting.
Yeah.
Erica, that's a surprise show up. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Again, which was so fun. If you haven't seen that stream yet, watch the stream. If you have seen it, watch it again because it's so great. Surena was great, even though I technically couldn't hear anything while watching it live. But knowing the cast, knowing them as having spent time with them, I know they always put on a great show, and I'm hyped. So but season 4 coming up June 9th.
June 9th.
And it's only technically now 11 episodes, but 10 episodes usually. Yep. And then we have maybe season 5 later this year with Who Knows His DM. Hopefully season 6 ending just a bit before D&D Live 2020. So having, at that point, hopefully, run through everybody DMing, or mostly everybody DMing. Well, technically, since this runs DM 2 episodes, but everybody sat at the DM table at least once. What do you see for at least Rivals, or even just yourself for D&D Live 2020?
I have no clue. Honestly, none. It's hard, with live shows, it's hard to predict when or if a show will be renewed, or if life changes happen, it could be that people have to move or anything else. But this community means a lot to me, and I hope to be back next year. That'd be awesome. But yeah,
back on the main stage.
That'd be cool.
I mean, since Real said he wants to DM main stage game from Matt Mercer, so let's throw Surena up there.
Yeah, let me play.
Yes. Well, we'll talk to Greg too, though, try to make it happen.
Yeah, try to figure it out. Yeah. With representation, and the reason I think a lot of people who don't necessarily understand it struggle why it's important, because the idea is your content needs to be good. So if you're not good, then why would I want to watch your show just because you're a person of color? Like, I totally understand that viewpoint to a point, but when you are growing up as a person of color or any other marginalized voice out there, and you look to your media and you look to your role, like the visible role models, and you don't see yourself reflected back, the moment you do, it is you realize that it's more important than you can even articulate. Like the moment when I'm trying to think of when I saw the movie Moana, I'm Thai and it's not close, but just seeing a girl who kind of looked like me as a Disney princess, I just remember just weeping through that movie, through inopportune times. It was literally from the start of the movie to the end of the movie, I would just intermittently crying because I just saw myself as represented. And again, those who don't have trouble finding representation in their media, they can turn on any channel and see someone who looks like them or might have the same life experiences as them because they grew up in the same socioeconomic level. It doesn't mean anything, and then when they see someone who doesn't look like them, it kind of might strike an uncomfortable chord too. So, but that's, representation is very important.
Yeah, on the panel, we briefly mentioned Into the Spider-Verse, and that is that moment. I love the entire movie. Great movie all around. Yeah. But that moment where he really comes into being Spider-Man, and I cried in the theater. I was like, God damn. Even though I've read Miles' stories and all that, but just seeing it on a big screen, it's being it won an award. It's just a lot of people talking about it. It's that continued. Just someone who kind of looks, there's not one, but there's a lot of similarities and experiences that in media that a lot of people are hyping up and talking about. And so it's that constant reminder to people who don't see themselves you want to be in this spot? You can be in this spot. So it reinforces the possibilities and breaks down the stereotyping that a lot of people of color have to deal with. Yeah,
there's this thing, real quick before we close out, because I know we're running close to time, but in psychology, I just finished this psychology class. Graduated! But they talk about this thing called the stereotype threat, and it's basically when you actually try to genderize or do something and say it's statistically proven that Asian people are good at math or something, and you hand me a math test, me as an Asian person, I know that's not true. But also, I have issues with math to the point where that becomes a stereotype threat, and I will do worse than if I weren't told that. So there's instances where marginalized people or women are given the stereotype, and they inadvertently do something that it reaffirms the stereotype because they're so
the pressure and the expectation. So you kind of don't want to reinforce it, but it's just you think on it
You freeze.
Yeah. And then so like a slight kind of overcompensation in a negative way.
Exactly. Yeah. So that's why stereotypes are bad, everyone.
Surena says no to stereotypes.
That's right.
All right. I mean, thank you for joining. You know, I love talking with you, and it's always been a fun experience. Of course, if we have like all day, we could talk all day, but
absolutely.
we only have so much time. So once again, thank you to Surena Marie, Ashbourne on Rivals, Nailed to DM for Season 4, June 9th, Zipper on Dungeon Dragons, and have we spoken about who your character is on Autonomic?
She's in process still.
Okay, so her mystery Autonomic character. And of course, Chips, for joining me today and speaking with me here at D&D Live on this final day before everyone, well, largely everyone goes home.
Bye.